would like to elaborate a little bit on the workability issues. My partner did forget to mention that the job that she was working at, where her friend had to walk 2 hours to and from work, was lifeguarding. If lifeguarding is during the summer, so it's hot, so if you have to walk 2 hours to work and then sit and watch kids swimming and say one of them starts drowning or something, you're expected to jump in. But if you had to just walk 2 hours, that could pose a problem. And I would also like to go back to the experience part regarding parents. A lot of parents don't enforce the rules. They'll take their teenager driving sometimes, but not all the time, and they'll just kind of sign off on it because they want them to get their license because they don't want to have to drive them anymore. For me personally, when I got my permit, my grandma always let me drive everywhere. And when I was driving, when I had my permit, she was in the car, I got rear-ended. I was in an accident, but it wasn't my fault. And I did very well on my permit test, very well on the driving test, haven't been in any accidents since. My sister recently got her license, and while she had her permit, my grandma didn't really like her driving because she wasn't a good driver. She, unlike me, did poorly on her permit test and passed her driving test barely. If she had missed one more, she wouldn't have gotten her license. While she was at school, she hit somebody's car pulling into a parking space because she didn't have enough experience, and this would be because my grandmother wasn't allowing her to gain the necessary experience. And I would like to go back to the heart disease thing. No, heart disease is not in any way related to car crashes, but just looking at numbers, it could be anything that you're looking at. If you see this rate of teenagers die because of this, but then there's something else that has an incredibly high number, it suddenly makes the teen crash rate not seem quite as high. So you have to, sometimes people are just bombarded by numbers. If you give them one number but you don't show them anything else, they might be like, wow, that's really big. But then if you showed them, you know, this many people die from this or that, they'll be like, oh, well, I guess that's not that many people compared to how many people die. If 631,000 people die in 1 year from one thing and 28,000 die over a period of 10 years, there's a big difference in numbers. Michael himself said that the GDL system in New Jersey does work. New Jersey is one of the states with under a 30% crash rate of teenagers. Comparing this to a state that has almost no GDL restrictions, on the GHSA website, it says that every state has all 3 stages of GDL except for North Dakota. The only regulations North Dakota has for licensure is that you be 14 to enter the learner stage, and that you have that for 6 months, and you get your full license by 14 and a half. Looking back at AAA's table, I found North Dakota has the second highest number of teen deaths at 47.3%. California has all of the components of the GDL system, and they have one of the lowest. So if we were to change the GDL system a little bit and make sure that it's better enforced, then many of the states could decrease the number of teen deaths. And the website, break.org, lists several countries with GDL systems already in place, being New Zealand, New South Wales, Australia, and Northern Ireland. An analysis of the system in New Zealand by TRL showed that following the introduction of GDL, there was a reduction in car crash injuries of 23% for 15 to 19-year-olds and 12% to 20 to 24-year-olds, showing that the GDL system was in fact effective for those teenagers. So experience is a very necessary part, and the GDL system allows young drivers to gain that, but if you increase the driving age, yes, 18-year-olds are more mature, they don't get that experience. And